down here, how you all are doing today. Right, I get lots of emails from people, because you know I build obviously guitars, Cigar box guitars. I get lots of emails from people asking for a bit of advice and asking me what sort of equipment I use. Is it expensive to get up to start building? Well, no, it's not. And of course, a lot of people assume that I have a massive workshop. Well, I don't. I just have an 8-foot by 4-foot shed. So that's why I do all my stuff. So what I thought to do today is just give you a quick little run round of my workshop and show you the techniques that I do and how I build guitars. So let's have a little look and see what I do. So this is essentially my shed, which I build everything. So it's not very big, but the essential things that you need really. I mean, I've got things like obviously a bench saw, and because obviously I'm limited with space inside the shed, I have to move outside, and I've got a couple of benches which I put out here, and I can work out here. Obviously on a fine day, if it's raining, I put a gazebo up. So I have to get everything out and use these benches and take all this sort of equipment out and put it on a bench. So I've got things like obviously a table saw there. There's a blade, it's a fine blade on that one. I do have a bigger one down under here. That's quite a big, for cutting big bits of wood. Got one of these fretting saws, so you can do shapes and things like that. Obviously a chop saw. And then over here we've got a sander. You can see a belt sander and a disc sander. I mean, they're great because I make all my own bridges and things like that, and this is just so handy. Obviously a pillar drill, which is obviously really handy for drilling things, and then obviously all these boxes. I've got pickups in here. I've got machine heads, clamps. That's the other thing you do need. You need a lot of clamps. You do need a lot of clamps when you're sort of clamping up necks. There's a few boxes here, and I've got in here bridges that I've made. So I make all my own bridges. That's a beech one. No, sorry, that's an ash one. Because what I essentially do is any offcuts that I have. I mean, I've got lots of offcuts here. As you can see, all these offcuts, things like this. Well, obviously I can turn these into bridges. You know, they're not a waste then. And any other bits of wood I have, I use these as packing pads. As you can see inside the box here, that packs it out for the neck. I get lots of stocks of wood, just any old junk wood, bits like this, which I can plane up, cut and make into bodies, because I essentially make most of my bodies, because it's sometimes quite difficult to get cigar boxes, so I make all my own bodies. As you can see here, this is one for a customer here, another one there on the go, and I have another one out here just being glued up, as you can see. So another one there just being glued up. That's for a fretless guitar. Yeah, so I keep all bits of wood. Say these, they come in handy for packing, and any old junk bits of wood I can get, I you know, bits like this, they can turn into bodies. Necks, I build all my own necks. Here's there's my new logo, brand logo. It goes on the neck stop, and obviously on the back. Still have my skull and crossbones. I make all my own necks. Here's one that I'm just actually making. This is actually going to be a resonator. This one. It's going to actually be a resonator. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's another neck here. I'm just building. This one hasn't been shaped yet. It's been cut and cut there, ready for the body, and the fretboard's been glued on, ready for fretting and shaping. Obviously, it's not been shaped yet. Here's one on the go. There's the fretboard. There's a fretboard. This is African hardwood. I like using African hardwood. Here's the neck, and that's marked there, ready to be cut. And here's the heel. So the heel will essentially be, you know, glued to the to the back of the box, sorry, the back of the neck, so you get the heel like so, and then it will be shaped. For my frets, cutting my frets, I used to use a fret measure like one of these, but we can't see it very well there. This one here gives you 24 3/4 one side, and on the other side it's 25 1/2. So I used to lay that on the neck and mark them out by a pen and then cut them, all very fiddly. And I used to cut them with, I made a block, I made some blocks up here, you can see there's my fret saw there, and I made some little blocks which you can put the necks in, but very fiddly. So I invested in one of these. Well worth the money, about 120 quid. So what you've got the, there you can put your saw goes in here. This is all marked out, you can see it's different sizes there, all marked out, and essentially what happens is there's a pin, and you just lay this in here, and then cut, lift it up, move it to the next pin, cut, and then the neck. Now what you do is you just get some double-sided tape, and what you do is you just double-side tape. I actually just do one at the end, a little bit of tape there, a little bit of tape there, and a little bit of tape there, and then you glue it. You get, there's your nut marker there. So what you do is you get your piece of wood to where you want it, and you stick it to the template like that. And of course then obviously you can lift off and it doesn't move the fretboard. And then once you finish, obviously you just peel it off and then just peel the bits of double-sided tape off. I mean, to be honest, getting one of these, it's well worth the money. If you're going to be building lots of them, I mean, if you're only going to sort of build one or two, then go back to the fret ruler, you know, because it is a lot. These are a lot of money, these things. The other thing is I have a level for, once I've glued the necks and they're all ready to go, like this one here, then I will level this with a fret one of these, which has got sandpaper on one side, and then I just literally go up and down it. I mark it first, put a ruler on here, mark it first with any high points if there's any, and then literally go up and down here until the marks are gone, and then you get a nice flat even neck. So when you come to then put your frets in, you don't have to do so much fret levelling, which is much better way. To be honest, 9 times out of 10 I do these, and once I've fretted them I don't have to do any work. Obviously I dress the frets, but I don't have to do any fret levelling because it's perfectly level. The other thing is I do on the end there, you can see that is where I have a bolt, because I use a bolt that goes in the neck, which is a 5mm bolt, one of these little things, and that just literally sits in there like so, and that gives you your lift for your strings. Now how I do this, some people will sort of chisel them out as a square. What I do is I clamp another piece of wood to this side of the fret there, and then I'll just drill down with a 5mm drill, and it gives me the right height that I need for my nut. So that's a great little one. So that's sort of really my workshop. As I say, it's not overly big. I say 8 foot by 4 foot shed, and that's why I build it all. All this equipment I've picked up. I've got under there, I've got a bandsaw, I've got a planer there, planer thicknesser. I mean, a lot of this equipment here, I mean, you can see this one here, you know, I picked up at a car boot, you know, which I think was about 10 quid. This I actually bought new, they're about £80. Well worth the money. I mean, absolutely well worth the money. Again, you don't necessarily need one of these saws to do your shaping. You could do it with a jigsaw, but again, I got this one, and actually this one was 25 quid. 25 quid off of eBay. So it's things like that. The other things you're going to need, of course, are soldering irons for soldering up your your pots and so forth for your pickups, unless you buy pickups that are actually pre-done. I buy mine in and then do all my own soldering. I have an array of things up here which are, you know, waxes for the wood, and stains for staining the wood if I want different colours, and obviously lots of nuts and bolts which you're going to need. Biggest thing you're going to need, as I say, is clamps. I mean, as you can see, that is a box being clamped up there, and look how many clamps I've got on that. Now when you come to do a neck, to do your frets, your fretboard on a neck, I mean, you've got to clamp that all the way along, you know, to get that nice and flat. So clamps are an essential thing you need, and I've also find that this type of clamp here, this type of clamp, they're great because they sort of, you know, you can actually make them bigger or smaller as opposed to just turning around with a normal G clamp. So these are sort of great. I get these from B&Q. I think you get 2 for about £5. But that is one thing you're going to need: lots and lots of clamps, lots and lots of clamps. So I'll take a better view from, so you can see the size. There we are. There's the size of the workshop. Not very big. So yes, you can build these guitars in any size shed. You know, just have various tools that you need: sanders, hand sanders, things like this. Obviously hand drills, which are down here. And obviously lots of, I mean, I've got lots of boxes that I get either given or I pick up at car boot. That's quite a nice one, sixpence. They're tins. I say most of the boxes I build, all these sort of boxes I build, unless I can find them at car boots or whatever. You know, I don't use the soy cigar boxes. I will use any type of box that's going to be usable for a guitar. Obviously I've got a router there as well. There's a router in the back there. I have all this storage for all my hand tools, because obviously, as I say, I'm in a small area making these guitars. Oh, these are great as well. These are corner clamps. So for when you're gluing the boxes, these are great. The little corner clamps that hold it all together. Well worth buying them. Well worth buying them. Again, I think they were like, I don't think these were cheap. I think they were about £4 each. Well, it's cheap really, isn't it? So that's it. I thought I'd show you my workshop. There we are. The Marc Lebone Cigar Box Workshop. Okay guys, well, I'll see you again soon. For more lessons, don't forget, please subscribe. Bye for now.